said I was going to do the vlog weekly, and then I got the flu. But in today's video, we are going to catch up on what I've decided my 2025 Misogi is, and look at a little bit of high intensity continuous training today. So a little bit conversational. Come along for the ride. Underwear riding up. Halfway.
All right. All right. So 3-minute break. Fully recover. And then we go another 8 minutes of 3 swings every 20 seconds. So I think it's what, like 72 swings? On paper, you're like, that's not bad. And it doesn't feel terrible. But coming back from the flu, my heart rate, for the majority of that, it was in the 140s. In the later sets, started getting into the 150s, and then it was just hanging in the mid 150s to max it hit was 158. So a little higher than I'd like, but got 215 to bring it down. Get these headphones off. So I know I said I was going to do a weekly vlog, and I feel like that's like the jinx move to say, but I didn't really factor in the fact that I went on a cruise, and I didn't feel like filming much while I was there. I did a little video, I posted it to my Instagram of snorkeling, and then wasn't doing that for dramatic effect, but as soon as we got back, I got the flu, and that took me out for an entire week. And really, today is 1 week to the day where I was at like my absolute worst, and I'm still fighting a cough. My resting heart rate is still a little bit too high overnight, still fighting some of that. And I'm trying to be smart, knowing that we have this High Rocks race coming up end of March where I want to train. I want to make sure that I'm training, but I'm also trying to make sure that I don't kill myself with my training right now. So kind of riding this line, but so far, I think so good. My HRV is starting to trend back upward, but it's still way lower than it normally would be. Resting heart rate is still significantly higher, about 8 beats higher than it normally would be overnight, 8 to 10 beats higher than it normally would be overnight. So I'm kind of using this week to just see if that's me still coming out of being sick, or is it that I'm jumping back into training too soon. And after this weekend where I kind of chill out a bit, if it's still down there, probably back off even harder next week, which sucks because I don't feel like I'm training that hard right now. But 10 seconds, here we go, set 2.
Shaking my head because heart rate hit 164. Not ideal. Doesn't feel that hard. Halfway. Stay calm. Come on. Shite. 2 sets ago. Come on. Hey. All right, so I'm not pumped with the heart rate peak, but I am happy with the fact that my peak heart rate happened at set 20, and I did not hit that heart rate again for 21, 22, 23, or 24. So I'm happy with that. So now we got 3 minutes. We're gonna do the same protocol with push-ups, 3 reps every 20 seconds. I'm probably gonna add a little weight to these, but we'll see. First, I'm gonna enjoy my break. Yeah. So we're in a strength capacity and aerobic capacity block. So we are doing strength endurance, strength capacity work right now. Hence the high intensity continuous training. We have this with different lifts 2 days a week right now. And then we have another 2 lifting days that are power. And then that goes into what's called eustress strength training, which essentially is heavy-ish, 3 to 4 reps in reserve. One day you have a lower push and an upper pull. The other day you have a lower pull and an upper push. And you're working for 15 minutes on the lower pull, upper push day. And you're working for 18 minutes on the lower push, upper pull day. And the rules are keep 3 to 4 reps in reserve. So it needs to be heavy-ish, but don't let your heart rate go over 150. So that day teaches you to manage your breathing, manage your arousal. Like it's not where you like get all fired up for your lifts. You have to stay relatively calm in order to be able to accrue a lot of work. Otherwise, you're going to spend time fighting with your heart rate right around 150, or you're going to have to go lighter. So different challenge in its own. And then we have 2 just like endurance days, which are focused more on skill for the high rocks movement, since we have a whole bunch of members that are getting ready for a high rocks race here at the end of March. So see how this goes with the band. I'm not sure how I'm feeling this today, but 3, 2, 1. Doesn't feel too bad yet. It's one round. Started a little bit early. I never know how much like weight I'm getting from this band. There's a little bit of a little bit of resistance. I can feel it. No idea how much. 2, 1. Obviously, being on the ground, heart rate stays much lower. Right now, I've been sitting in the 120s. I just hit 133 peak on that. 3, 2, 1. I don't want to hold a plank that long. I got in that too soon. I put my heart rate up a little bit, 140. Peaked at 140. Held that plank a little too long. Is that recording? You better be recording. Thank God. 4 to go. All right, 24 down. Now we have at the beat the 3-minute break. And then another 8 minutes every 20 seconds, 3 reps. So another 24 sets in 3 minutes. So I've been racking my brain about what my Misogi is going to be for 2025. And if you're not familiar with what that is, basically you take on a really, really hard challenge every year, like a year-defining challenge. So for me, 2023 was the Georgia Death Race. 2024 was starting jiu-jitsu and trying to get my blue belt in a year. Nailed both of those. And then 2025, I really had to take a hard look at the business and where I want to be and what I want from it and what I want for our employees and our members. And I decided that my Misogi for 2025 is kind of a two-parter. So one, it is to actually put on a race, an event that I have been dreaming of putting on for about 3 years. And I keep giving myself every excuse in the world of like, well, no, now's not the right time. And maybe it wasn't the right time, but it is the right time now. And I was sick with the flu, as I talked about last week. And I was like, I need to do something. And I'm sitting here like, what can I do to move towards something meaningful to me while I'm just propped up on the couch trying not to die? And I was like, shoot off an email to where you want to host the race, which is Algonquian Park, right down the road here from the gym. And blown away, they replied to me in like 10 minutes and they were like, can you meet next week? And so we had a meeting just a few days ago and it went absolutely awesome. And we are looking at, and I will say, I can't say 100% going to do it there. I'm fairly certain we're doing it there, but we're looking at doing it there the last weekend in September, which I think is that Saturday, I think is the 28th, or the first Saturday in October, which would be October 3rd. And it really just comes down to availability of some of the areas that we want to use and that it's not being overrun by softball and fall sports on the fields there. So I'm excited to do it, but that's going to be part one of my 2025 Misogi. Part two is, this one technically isn't a Misogi, but it's going to be like my big mission for the year is make a scary, scary decision, which is, are we opening more gyms or is this just a one-off thing? We are in year 14 of Beyond Strength, and my gut says it's time to open more gyms. We have a lot of people asking us to open more gyms. I want to open more gyms. I need to get over some of my fears of like personnel and staffing. But 2025 is going to be about exploring the things that we need to do to make that a reality, which will include going to visit some people that own multiple gyms and having conversations with them about, like, if you could go back when you went from one gym to two, what do you know now that you wish you knew then? Ask them how they've been successful at running multiple locations, how that works with managing staff, with making sure that culture is in line across different facilities. But that would mean, who knows, late 2025, sometime in 2026, we could be opening location number 2 of Beyond Strength. So putting on a race in 2025 and exploring opening more gyms in 2025. So if you're hearing me correctly, I'm not really taking on a physical Misogi in 2025. However, I am always going to train my butt off, and I will say yes to lots of challenges this year, starting with High Rocks. But why isn't High Rocks a Misogi if the Georgia Death Race was? Well, the Georgia Death Race was like a 50-50 when I signed up for it. Can I even do this? I know I can do a High Rocks, and High Rocks doesn't really fire me up. What does fire me up is going and doing it with a bunch of our members and getting people to sign up for something that makes them very uncomfortable, and knowing the growth that that's going to create for them mentally and physically. But we're going to do a lot more stuff as a group, as a gym, and I will be involved in all of that. So we've got High Rocks the last weekend in March. I think it's the last weekend in March. And then we're going to put on our annual event, the Kettlebell Mile. That's not the big race I'm talking about. The Kettlebell Mile we'll put on in May. I don't have a date yet, but I will soon. And then we'll put on the race. For now, I'll just tell you the acronym is RCR. It's going to be the race. It's going to be a 7-mile race, and it's not what you're thinking. It's not just a run. It's a mixed event. It's going to be awesome. So, and other stuff will pop up in there. I don't know what else we're going to do, but we'll do something in the summer as a group. Then we'll have the RCR in the fall. And then, who knows? We'll see. Tell you what, talking while doing this makes it a whole lot easier. Distracts me from going, oh crap, I gotta go again. I'm just talking, I'm having a conversation, and intermittently doing some push-ups. Feels good. I'll tell you what doesn't feel good is sitting back on my feet like this on this floor. At a point, it starts to get pretty uncomfortable. But I'm going to shut up about that now. Cruising. All right. Set 2 done. So now, let me actually grab the camera, show you guys something. So the way that things work with our classes is we have TVs, which, because it's set to focus on my face, it might not really pick up. Let me actually turn this around. So we've got the TV, right? So today, like the way that it works when people come in for classes, it'll be like, all right, today, Friday, we're doing Resilience B. There we go. The ISO got all screwed up. We're doing Resilience B. We'll go through warm-ups together. Once we're done with warm-ups, it's like, all right, guys, first up, we've got high intensity continuous training. And that's exactly what I just did. So one thing that makes our training pretty unique is it's not a one-size-fits-all program. It'll have a category, HICT lower pull. Let me see if I can turn on steady shot so that my hand shaking is a little more steady. So HICT lower pull, and you have kettlebell deadlift, rack pull deadlift, hex bar deadlift, sled power pull, or kettlebell swing, and then what we're doing. And then after that, we had HICT upper push, modified push-up, or push-up. And if we need to make them harder, people were elevating their feet, like doing feet elevated push-ups. Some people were putting plates on their back. I was doing band resisted, but we could go ahead and make those a little bit harder if it made sense for our strengths, our goals. But, and then after this, let me turn it back around actually. Turn my steady shot back on because my hands are really shaky. And next, we go to recovery cyclical cardio for 10 to 20 minutes. So this is really just to get the blood flowing after doing all that. I'm probably not going to film it because it's going to be super boring. I'll be on the bike. I might pick up the camera and talk a little bit, but after that, we go through a group cool down and done. So all the classes run like this. There's a TV here in the front, which, to give you a little bit of context, I'll back up. The TV is over like this area. We do our warm-ups along here, along the turf. The TV's up above that, so people kind of gather over here. We talk about what we're going to do. We break out, we do the thing. We'll come back to the TV, talk about the next thing, which in this case means we're heading back into the corner there where all the cardio stuff is. You can see there's another TV back there in the corner, which I don't have hooked up right now, but normally that would have the workout on it as well. And then Morpheus for heart rate is up on this TV right here, which I don't have mine hooked up to. I'm just looking at Morpheus off of the app on my phone. But yeah, that's how we run things. I thought I would show you how I'm using Morpheus. So with the app itself, you can actually set up intervals. So right now, not intervals, but like you can set up intervals, but that's not what I'm doing right now. You can just set up blue zone. I think this is blue zone 1, where it'll just give you this box where you can kind of see where it's protruding. Creates that box, and it's just telling me to keep my heart rate in that range. So I'm on the bike. Talking is making my heart rate go up. So I'm slowing down a little bit, but I'm doing 20 minutes. You can see I have 740 left, and just keeping my heart rate in this range. Nice and easy. And this is like, I'm not thinking of this as conditioning per se. I'm thinking of this as recovery and getting the blood flowing after doing all those reps so that I'm not absolutely wrecked tomorrow. So I'm thinking of this as beginning the recovery process. So that's how we're finishing out this session. Then I'll do some mobility work. I'm gonna get the heck out of here and go enjoy Valentine's Day with my wife.